Hello everybody and welcome. This is just a video because of the 1.2 release, and I actually managed to find a working version on the internet of KSP 0.7.3. So today we're going to be looking at the oldest version of the KSP and the latest version of the KSP. We'll start with the old version because I think that's the best. Well, to start with. It's pretty bland. It actually doesn't load when you open it. It only loads when you click start game. So it's actually a completely different loading process, and then it doesn't fill up. With the other newer KSP, it's different. But anyway, so this is the home screen. This is the Space Center. These mountains don't exist. These roads don't exist when you're actually in a real place, but you can't look around. All you can do is stare at this picture or hover your mouse over either the vehicle assembly building or the launch pad. And you can click these. But let's go into the VAB. And inside we have this. So what we're going to do is make a very basic rocket. So capsule, decoupler. Let's get our parachute and our solid rocket motor. Alright, so now we have our rocket. No crew, no symmetry, nothing. Let's save and let's launch. So now this defaults to build a bomb. No IVA, no EVA, just here. And then again, no roads, no mountains. They do have trees. Yeah, and you got the VAB right here. And you can't use Z and X, that doesn't do anything. But we hold shift the old-fashioned way. T for SAS doesn't do anything, you actually have to hold F. You have the SAS force right there. But you do have your typical spacebar. Still kind of that OP acceleration, but a lot more fuel. Here, if you listen closely, you hear like wind effects. Start to movie. Jeff's happy. As you can see, our vertical speed is not happy. I still don't know what this means. This is blank. No map view. Yeah, yeah, you can use WASD, QE. Yeah. So now it appears we're out of fuel. And yeah, so I think we can now let that stage fall away. The explosions are actually pretty nice, I'll give it to them. Yeah, but still think they have some of the atmospheric stuff still working, right? Because wind and atmospheric drag automatically puts to prograde just like it does in real life and in the newest versions of KSP, but it appears because we have no atmosphere gauge and the atmosphere doesn't thicken, we are accelerating. I know we're just peaking off actually. Yeah, screaming in pretty fast. Now there's no time warp, so I'm kind of going to wait for the last minute to pull the chute for either a great glorious explosion or a fast recording time. It's very easy to see how when you get closer though, things start to load more. You can zoom out at a pretty decent distance actually. I'm not going to do that right now. Let's deploy your chute right now. And no right click, by the way. You can't access anything. And every part you put down has a stage So even like the tri-coupler is like a question mark. They have like a fuel tank icon. In fact, actually the liquid fuel rocket doesn't even have a fuel gauge. It literally goes on forever. And when you throttle down, like if you look here, with the liquid fuel engine, when you throttle down, it still, does a little bit of thrust. Like the thrust limiter's broken. But yeah, I think that was a successful flight. Press escape. We have resume flight, end flight, and quit. It's end flight. Total distance traveled. Highest altitude is 9175. Cool. Alright. So this is just a very brief overview of 0.7.3. But let's get into this. This is pre-release, 64-bit, and I've already noticed a bug. This is supposed to be, I know it looks like asteroids, but this is supposed to be the moon's surface. The reason is because you have the blunderbuss thing. Terrain broke. But I have a test all set up, and we are going to do the same thing we did in the other one, but different. I know that was weird. Plane icons now, finally. Just recovering that. Wow. Map view is interesting. You got ComNet. Basically, all probes need to be connected to Kerbin or a Kerbal in some way. Through relays or other things. All these buildings. Let's go in the VAB. So we'll do the same thing. We'll do our basic capsule. We will go to, sorry, I'm a bit new here to this interface. Gotta remember, always, utility will always be there. It's been there since the beginning. But they have this helpful coupling now. I still kind of think docking ports kind of go in utility a bit, but I see why, because they dock and undock. But basically they added things like pods, fuel tanks, engines, command and control, structural, coupling, payload, aerodynamics, ground, thermal, electrical, communication, science, utility. So now we'll just do our SRB hammer. And yeah, so we can have action groups, we have crew, we have the KSpedia. Actually, the debug menu is kind of redone. I might show that in another video. But you have center of mass, center of thrust, aerodynamics, symmetry, angle snap, all the things. But most importantly, one of the good things is you can load a different craft. So, but let's get going. So let's see if this rocket goes higher or lower than our other one. So I think the other one was about 9,000 meters. Let's see if we can break that. Now throttle doesn't really matter, but Z and X do work. T for SAS. Interior overlay, so we can see inside the cockpit. We can see the stars. EVA, get outside. Inside cockpit view. Actually. Alright, let's go. Right click also. Let's put up our fuel. Here is the KSC monolith right there. Good map view. Tells us our connections, our apoapsis, which is very high actually. You know, I might actually go and take a look at some of these connection points, because there are literally like dishes there that you could take a look at. Seeing immense tree effects, aerodynamic overlay is great. Actually, looks like all in it. So we, as a matter of fact, are going to space. probably should have brought a heat shield. That would have been a good idea at the time. Yeah. We'll be fine. Hopefully. If we're not... Oops. Let's point ourselves retrograde. Hey, it's not as shaky. That's way better. Yes. Depends on how rough the atmospheric entry gets. I might have to, cheat. Unless we should let this thing explode, but that's no fun. Switching to surface. Getting hot. I'm doing this overlay to hiding the reentry and just seeing its heat by F11. Huh. Looks like it won't be so bad after all, even with apoapsis extremely high. There's our debris. The icon's now square. A bit easier to see. We're actually getting quite close to it. Wonder. 2000. Pretty. Actually. Took some screenshots. Let's time warp because this takes quite some time. We can right click. We can see that it's safe to deploy our parachute. So I think we will do so shortly. Parachute deployed. SAS is no longer required. Parachute deploying. Please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. Alright. I would say that was a successful mission. Not a very... Wow. Forgot about that. I mean, not the most interesting mission, but a mission nonetheless. Alright. Coming down at a pretty good speed. Let's stop time warping. But the mod Hyperreddit, for if you don't know that, basically it's where you can like teleport things and orbit and stuff. You can now do that built in. So that's pretty good. And then now when you hack the gravity, you can actually tweak how much of it. But so now we have way more options. But we are going to actually, if we press F3, we can look here and highest altitude way higher than 9,000. So yeah, that is the quick demo of the difference between the oldest KSP and the newest KSP. Thank you.